Hello students, welcome back. I hope you must be enjoying my lectures. Now in this session our focus would be on variance and standard deviation. We shall discuss the calculation of variance and standard deviation in case of individual series, continuous frequency distribution and discrete frequency distribution. We shall also discuss some properties, very important properties of variance, and you can expect some direct as well as indirect questions based on these properties. So let's begin. Okay, so we were discussing the measures of dispersion or measures of spread. So we have already discussed range and mean deviation. So now we will be discussing the variance and standard deviation. Variance is important and you might find it a bit difficult in the sense that it again involves a bit of calculations, lengthy calculations. So variance is a measure based on, first of all, it is denoted, the most usual notation is sigma square. Based on the deviations of individual scores from the mean. Variance is based on squared deviations of scores about the mean. When the deviations are squared, the rank order and relative distance of squares in the distribution is preserved while negative values are eliminated. Then to control for the number of subjects in the distribution, the sum of deviations summation x minus x bar whole square is divided by n, that is population. The average of the sum of squared deviations is called the variance. So variance, you just need to know that variance is denoted by sigma square, that is, this is the usual notation for variance, and we will be discussing the examples as well as we will discuss the formula in case of individual, discrete and continuous distributions. How do you calculate the variance in each and every of this kind of distribution? First we have is the variance of individual observations. If x1, x2, xn are n values of a variable x, then variable x is equal to 1 by n mod of sigma. Frequencies obviously cannot be there, so it will be summation of xi minus x bar whole square, which is equal to 1 by n summation xi square minus 1 by n summation xi whole square. You can just remember this formula for variance. It is basically mean of squares minus squares of mean. So mean of squares minus square of mean. So this is the formula, most generally used formula for variance of individual observations. Next we have variance in case of discrete distribution and then for continuous. So in discrete you will have data in the form of x1, x2, xn are n values of a variable x and corresponding frequencies are f1, f2, fn. Then variance of x is equal to 1 by n modulus of summation fi xi minus x bar whole square, which is equal to 1 by n summation fi xi square minus 1 by n summation fi xi whole square. So the only difference between the last formula and this formula is that you have got frequencies in this formula. So it becomes summation fi xi, where summation fi is n, right? And finally for grouped or continuous frequency distribution, the variance is h square into 1 by n summation fi ui square minus 1 by n summation fi ui whole square, where ui is xi minus x bar, this is xi minus x bar by h, and h is the class width, that is the width of the class interval or width of the simply interval, you can say. So these were the formulae. As we discuss questions, the things will be clearer. Now we have properties. These properties are extremely important. We often get questions based on these properties, direct application, or you can also get it in the form of a problem. If x1, x2, so on xn be n values of a variable x, if these values are changed to x1 plus a, x2 plus a, so on xn plus a, where a belongs to R, then the variance remains unchanged. So if you have a set of values x1, x2, so on xn, and we add a certain quantity a real number a to each of these quantities, then the variance of the new set of observations will remain unchanged. Similarly, if x1, x2, xn values of a variable x, and let a be a non-zero real number, and you multiply each and every observation by a, then the new set of values becomes ax1, ax2, so on axn, and in that case the variance of the resulting new set of observations becomes a square variance x. This is important. Now we have standard deviation. Standard deviation is simply the positive square root of variance. Variance was sigma square, standard deviation is sigma. So it is defined as the positive square root of variance. Thus the standard deviation is a measure of variability expressed in the same units as the data. Standard deviation is very much like a mean or an average of these deviations. Then we have combined standard deviation. This is also important. As we had combined arithmetic mean, similarly we have combined standard deviation. If there are two sets of observations containing n1 and n2 items with respective mean x1 bar and x2 bar and standard deviation sigma 1 and sigma 2, then the mean x bar and the standard deviation of n1 plus n2 observations taken together are x bar is n1 x1 bar plus n2 x2 bar by n1 plus n2, and sigma square is 1 by n1 plus n2, n1 sigma 1 square plus d1 square plus n2 sigma 2 square plus d2 square, where d1 is x bar minus x1 bar and d2 is x bar minus x2 bar. This is important. This we already know, we have already discussed. So combined standard deviation would be given by this formula, and we will discuss questions based on them. First question that we have is calculate the mean and standard deviation of first n natural numbers. First n natural numbers means 1, 2, 3, so on n. So basically here xi is I, where I varies from 1 to n. What does that mean? That my x1 is 1, x2 is 2, x3 is 3, so on, xn is n. So mean x bar would be summation xi 1 by n summation xi, I going 1 to n. So this is equal to 1 by n, 1 plus 2 plus 3, so on n. And if you remember, the formula for sum of first n natural numbers is n into n plus 1 by 2. So this becomes n plus 1 by 2. Now we have to find out the standard deviation. So for standard deviation, first of all we will find out sigma square, and then we can just take its under root, positive square root, and we will get standard deviation. So sigma square is 1 by n summation xi square, we have just now discussed the formula, minus 1 by n summation xi whole square. So this becomes 1 by n, 1 square plus 2 square plus so on n square, minus mean square, and mean is n plus 1 by 2, so it becomes n plus 1 by 2 whole square. Now again, sum of squares of first n natural numbers is n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6, minus we have n plus 1 by 2 whole square, that means n plus 1 square by 4. And so this becomes, if I take n gets cancelled, n plus 1 can be taken as common, or finally you can solve it out. We have n plus 1, 2n plus 1 by 6 minus n plus 1 square by 4, So it becomes n square minus 1 by 12. So this is the required standard deviation, and this is sigma square. Sigma square is n square minus 1 by 12, and x bar, that is mean, is n plus 1 by 2. Next question is the mean and variance of 7 observations are 8 and 16 respectively. This is mean, this is variance. If 5 of the observations are 2, 4, 10, 12, 14, find the remaining 2 observations. So let us suppose let x and y be the remaining observations. Then we'll just try to apply the formula for mean and variance. We'll get equations and then we'll solve them out. So mean is given to be 8. So that just means that 2 plus 4 plus 10 plus 12, this is raw data, individual series. So you'll just add up all those quantities divided by the number of quantities, that's 7, and this is given to be 8. This means 10 plus 4, 16, 28, 38, 42 plus x plus y becomes 56. So that means x plus y is 14. This is my first equation, and now I am going to consider variance. Variance is given to be 16. So that means 1 by 7, that is 1 by n, then squares of observations, that is 2 square, 4 square, 10 square, 12 square, 14 square, x square, y square, minus mean square would be equal to 16. This implies 1 by 7 into, just find out this squares, 10 square is 100, 12 square is 144, then we have 196 plus x square plus y square minus mean is given to be 8, that means mean square is 64, so minus 64 is 16. This implies 460 plus x square plus y square. 64 plus 16 will become 80. 80 into 7 becomes 560. So x square plus y square is 100. This is my second equation. So first we had obtained x plus y, then we have x square plus y square. So what I'll do is now x plus y whole square minus x minus y square. Okay, so x plus y whole square plus x minus y square. If you open up these two, you get x square plus y square plus 2xy plus x square plus y square minus 2xy. So ultimately we get it as twice of x square plus y square. From this equation we will be able to derive the value of x minus y, and since we already have x plus y, now we will get x minus y. So we can just solve out those two equations and get the values of x and y. So x plus y was 14, so 14 square plus x minus y square is equal to 2 into 100. X minus y square is 200 minus 196, so that is 4. This implies x minus y is plus minus 2, and therefore now I have x plus y is 14, x minus y is 2, and then x plus y is 14, x minus y is minus 2. I can have these two cases. From this case we can just 2x is equal to, we get 16, so x becomes 8, x is 8 and so y is 6. In this case solve out these two equations, you get 2x equal to 12, so x becomes 6 and y becomes 8. So remaining observations are 6 and 8. Either x is 6, y is 8, or we can have x is 8 and y is 6. So in either case we just had to find out the values of x and y, so that is 6 and 8. Next we have is coefficient of variation, that is also termed as CV, right? This is also important. Now coefficient of variation is basically used to check or compare the variability of two sets of observations. If we have two different sets of observations, then we can use coefficient of variation to test the variability, to check which of the set is more variable. And series having greater CV, that is greater coefficient of variation, is said to be less consistent, or we'll say that it is more variable. So measures of dispersion are unable to compare two or more series which are measured in different units even if they have the same mean. Thus we require those measures which are independent of the units. The measure of variability which is independent of units is called coefficient of variation, and the coefficient of variation is defined by sigma by x bar into 100, where sigma is standard deviation and x bar is mean. So these symbols have the usual meanings. So the formula is also quite simple. Coefficient of variation is simply standard deviation by mean into 100. So we have an example based on coefficient of variation. The following values are calculated in respect of heights and weights of students of class 11th. So, okay, the question is incomplete. Can we say that the weights show greater variation than heights, or heights show greater variation than weights? This is the question, that can we say that the variation in height is more than variation in weight, or vice versa? So in such kind of cases, when you have to test the variation, whether this is more variable or that is more variable, you will be using coefficient of variation. So to compare the variability, we have to calculate coefficient of variation. Now variance of heights, the variance of height is given to be 127.69. 127.69. So that means standard deviation of height, SD means standard deviation, positive square root of variance, and that is equal to 11.3, right? Similarly, variance of weight. Now variance of weight is given as 23.1361. 23.1361. So standard deviation of weight would be under root of 23.1361, and that is equal to 4.81 kg. And coefficient of variation CV, that is coefficient of variation, is equal to, first of all we find CV in height. We'll have to find it, the coefficient of variation independently for height and for weight. So that is equal to standard deviation by mean into 100. Standard deviation in case of height is 11.3, then mean 162.6. So we have 11.3 by 162.6 into 100, and you can just calculate this, it will come out to be 6.95. And similarly you can calculate the coefficient of variation in weight, that will be equal to again standard deviation by mean into 100. So standard deviation is 4.81 and mean is 52.36. So 4.81 by 52.36 into 100, and this will come out to be 9.18. And so finally, on the basis of these coefficient of variations of height and weight, you can simply say that clearly coefficient of variation, that is CV in weight, is greater than your CV in height. Therefore, weights show more variability as compared to heights, or you can say more variability than height. You can simply say on the basis of this that weights show more variability than heights. So now just practice a very good number of questions based on coefficient of variation, standard deviation, variance, mean deviation. The more you practice, the better will be your speed, and you won't commit silly mistakes, silly calculation mistakes, or you won't have to mug up the formulae because you'll be well versed with the formula also. If you have got any kind of queries on the topic, you can post it for free on our discussion board of askiitians.com. For doing so, just go to the website askiitians.com, go to the discussion board, and as soon as you select the option of discussion board, on the right hand side you will see the column Ask Experts. In that you can select the category of the question, for example say algebra, and just post your question. You can also attach any kind of image with the question. Then just click on Get Answer, and the Ask IITians experts will give you the answer within the duration of 24 to 48 hours. So I hope you must have understood the concept of variance as well as standard deviation. I would like to remind you again that the properties of variance that we discussed are extremely important. So just practice a very good number of questions based on these properties. This in fact completes our chapter on statistics, but before we end, let's just have a quick recap of the entire chapter. So we first began with statistics, that what exactly do we mean by the term statistics. Then we discussed the measures of central tendency, that is we discussed the three types of measures of central tendency: mean, median and mode. So we discussed the formulae for mean, median and mode in case of individual series, discrete frequency distribution, and finally continuous frequency distribution. Then we discussed certain types of distributions like skewed distribution and symmetric distribution. We discussed positively skewed as well as negatively skewed distribution. Then we moved to measures of spread or measures of dispersion, that is we discussed range, mean deviation, standard deviation and finally variance. Side by side we also discussed various questions based on these concepts. Now just practice a very good number of questions based on these topics, because this chapter, that is statistics, is an extremely scoring chapter and it does not require too much of labor, but yes, practice is required, because the more you practice, better will be your speed. Now for more lectures of physics, chemistry, mathematics and biology, stay tuned on askiitians.com.